I've got 7 o'clock. If you'd all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. To the June 10th board meeting. Your illustrious manager is on his way back from a well-run open wheel race. New Garden finally won.
Yeah.
We'll start out with announcements. Clear Creek Conservancy, Dwayne?
Our next meeting is the 20th this month at 10 a.m. in our conference room. You still see work going on over there. Most of the new equipment is being operated, run tests and so forth. Mainly right now, when we were able to put the new equipment online and pump out the old holding tanks, we found out that some of the equipment was in worse shape than what we thought it was. So by having that capability, we're now rehabbing the old equipment, putting in new bearings, sandblasting and repainting, and replacing some parts that we found that was better to replace them than it was to rehab them. But that's why it's drug on longer than what we had anticipated, but it was an opportune time to do it at this point in time while we still had the crews here to do it. And so that's why you're still seeing the crane sitting over there and still lifting some of the stuff out so they can sandblast it and paint it and so forth. And the other thing I'd like to bring up is I've been in contact. I'll try to make this as short as I can. I've tried in contact with the Putnam County Mural Committee for about 2.5 years, trying to think ahead that we were going to have these big concrete walls and it'd be a nice place to put a mural. Of course, they first started asking for pictures, which we didn't even have prints yet or drawings at that time what it was going to look like. As soon as they got some walls up, I took some pictures and sent to them. I've been staying in contact with them. They're completely committed for 2024. I'm hoping maybe that we can convince them to paint us some murals out here in 2025. I thought that it'd be nice if the community could back us, if they would, please. So Rick Miller designed a ballot-like or a form on Facebook. I've seen it on 2 different Facebook pages. And there's no commitment. The only commitment that you do if you put your name and your lot number in there is that you support the fact that you'd like to have murals painted on those walls rather than just have flat, blank concrete walls. So everybody that can get on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, grab a neighbor, vote through their Facebook, and we'll see if we can maybe convince the Putnam County Mural Committee to do some painting for us.
Okay, sounds good.
Don't they got something like that over there in Greencastle?
Pardon?
Over by Wally's, off of 231 there?
Yeah, well, there's about 5 of them in Greencastle.
Yeah.
And there's the one in Rochdale, in Fillmore on the barbecue.
Yeah.
That's one of theirs. They did one in Roachdale. This summer, they're gonna do one in Russellville. So they're getting out in the county. They're gonna do some more in Greencastle this summer too, but.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dwayne. Dwayne, when did you say the meeting is, please?
It's the 20th at 10 a.m.
Okay. Floyd Township Fire Department,
It's not here.
nobody's here. Neighborhood Watch, no one's here. I do not have a report. HLCS, Rick Miller.
Just having trouble keeping the June edition on the shelf, but otherwise things are fine.
Look at that, huh?
So you printing more of them?
Yeah, we're printing more as I speak.
Good.
Donna's not here. Anybody here for Hellneck?
Yep.
Oh, Jan, hi. I didn't see you walk in. Sorry.
I'm hiding back here. I just want to report for Hellneck, we are getting ready for the boat poker run, which takes us several weeks to do that. August 17th is the date. We're hoping for good weather, and we're hoping that, it seemed to work very well last year that the POA asked that there be idle, that 12 to 4 be an idle time, and so hope you'll consider that again for this year. This is the 10th anniversary, so we're going to have a couple special things going on. But it's important for people to remember that not only are we doing the boat poker run, but we're also having food trucks and a concert that evening. So we're hoping we can maybe get on the signage, around the lake that we also say we're having food and a concert as well as the poker run itself. Also want to report for the scholarship, Heritage Lake Scholarship Committee. Tom is here this evening, and Alan Zirkle is with us also on the committee. Last month, I mentioned that we had topped the $40,500, and in the meantime, thanks to all the supporters they have given through their POA dues, when that assessment was done, there's the itemization for the scholarship fund, and so that was, I think, about $2,500, and then some awesome person representing a business came in and wrote a check for the remaining, I did it anonymously, $7,500. So now we're over $50,000, which is totally awesome. And so for sure, there will be at least 2 scholarships awarded next year through the endowment at the foundation, as well as the opportunity to have 1 or 2 more, perhaps depending upon the donations and contributions that come in from the lake, as well as any fall garage sale and any other fundraising. I don't know about a fall fundraising through the foundation yet, but that's what got us to the $40,000 last fall.
That's great news, Jan.
Yes, great
Thank
news.
you.
Oh, well done.
POA Security, we have Tom Sutherland here. Do you have something for us?
Yes, so the sheriff asked for me to attend. In his absence, he apologizes, but he's been planning a vacation pre-COVID, so him and his family are over in Europe vacationing. I've got the calls. I don't know what you guys need him for report. So I just wanted to share some information of what our business was up here for the month of May.
Okay.
We were up here approximately 43 times on different runs, different calls. Some of the top calls that we were up here for, it was administrative or Signal 30 extra patrol. Administrative could have mostly was title checks or boat checks, people getting checks done on their vehicles. We were up here for public assistance or lockout, people locking keys in their cars, so they call for our deputies to come up here and they unlock their vehicles. That's a service we provide free to the county. Suspicious activity, we're up here 4 times for that, up here 3 times for reported thefts, up here 3 different times for accidents, and then there's several calls that we were just up here for once. We have 1 domestic, 1 disturbance. Anyway, we're up here 43 times in your community for the month of May, and there was 2 traffic stops done in the month of May.
Great. Could I get a copy of that?
Yeah. you
Okay,
can have this
that'd be
straight-
perfect.
I'll give it to you at the end of the meeting.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're gonna move into before we move into the presentation of agenda, just so everyone knows, the way meetings are run for the board meetings, there are some people here that I haven't seen before, and they might not know this, but this is a board meeting. This is for the board. This is for information to the community. So we will provide you with information. We will talk about issues we need to talk about. We have, at that time, maybe a vote or two on issues that we've talked about prior to and during this meeting. And then we will vote on those. At the end of this meeting, we will open up a forum. That's when anyone in our audience can speak. In the meantime, we like to keep the only speaking coming from the board members so that we keep a structure on the meetings, because if everyone wanted to partake in all the discussions that the board's going to be in, we'll be here all night. So we've decided that's the way we're going to run our meetings. So moving on, presentation of minutes
Agenda.
after the agenda. The agenda is going to change briefly, if it's okay with the board. I have an A and E additional item that I would like just to introduce to you tonight, because there are certain people, including myself, that wish to have this brought to our attention immediately. Something came up today and yesterday. I'm sure those of you who are on Facebook quite a bit heard all about it. I am not on Facebook. I just heard about it because I was called in. But anyway, their A&E has been called to change something, and if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to please make a motion take a motion that we can change the agenda just that small amount.
I'll make a motion to change the agenda.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have a small quorum.
Yeah, but I got two
I got
votes.
two, I got two
Oh,
hands.
look at this.
I got Nina, I got Nina.
All right, so somewhere down here in new business, I'm going to discuss that. And I don't see a need for a vote tonight, because there'll probably be a formal idea from the A&E committee, but I'd like you all to know about it. Okay, presentation of minutes. The board meeting and the operations meeting for May. I'll take a motion on both of those.
Motion to accept?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Treasurer's report. Dennis?
All right. Okay, for the month of May, we had total income of $284,575. We had total expense of $149,220, which gave us net income of $135,355, which means year-to-date, we have total income of $865,873. Total expenses, $667,600, for a total net income year-to-date of $198,273. In terms of cash, and we're seeing a seasonal uptick in cash available. We've got general fund and short-term cash of $900,735. We have investments of $217,356, which means total cash available is $1,118,091.
Thank you, Dennis. Board committee reports. Back to you, Dennis. A&E.
All right, A&E, summary of the projects that were approved by the A&E committee for the month of May. They had 7 new homes, 4 non-waterfront fences, a roof over a dock, a revised dock plan, a revised non-waterfront fence, a non-waterfront fence and deck, a detached garage, a sunroom, and an approved stairway and landing. So that's a summary of all the projects. So a lot going on right now.
No pun intended.
Yep.
All right. Cleanup committee, or campground committee. Rick Stevens.
Only announcement we have, there will be no June meeting.
No June meeting. God, I was gonna go.
Running like an oil machine.
Everybody's gone.
Cleanup committee, Jeff, you have anything?
Nothing to report.
All right. Government committee, Rick Olson.
Rick Olson, 51 Mill Springs. A little bit of activity this last month in the roadway improvements area. We met with, a few of us met with Jim Peck and Clint Maddox with the county highway department. We talked about how the ARPA funds were going to be spent, which was ultimately approved by the council at their meeting. So they approved $250,000 to go toward Heritage Lake roadways. Originally, they asked me to put together a list of the worst cul-de-sacs at Heritage Lake, but the county decided, and the county's going to do this work, and they admitted that they don't know how to pave cul-de-sacs. So we had to go to Plan B, and so we're gonna have them, or they're gonna pave 4 of the worst roadways, in our opinion, and that's going to be Rappahannock Drive, Burgoyne Drive, excuse me, Militia Drive, and Monmouth Drive. They're all in pretty bad shape. So they were all on the schedule. There's a 7-year plan. They didn't get to it last year, and they weren't going to get to it this year until this ARPA funding became available. So these roadways will be closed for short. They're not gonna do the chip and seal like they have in the past. They're gonna do overlays like they've done on Heritage Drive. Probably not as thick as they did on Heritage Drive, but when the county does it, they pave the whole roadway at one time. So those roads will be closed for short time periods while they're doing that paving operation. We'll try to get as much schedule information so we can get it publicized. We also requested that they come up with a plan to do the cul-de-sacs. Obviously, they need to be done at some point, so I suggested maybe they try one this year when they're at the end of their paving program, or do it through the community crossings funds that become available every year. So they said they would consider that. And then I mentioned this before. We also discussed with the county about the patching. I don't know if you noticed, but when they do these large patch areas, a lot of times there's loose gravel. And I know they're dangerous for motorcycles, probably bicycles as well. So we talked to them to see if they can avoid. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's no loose gravel, and other times there is. So they just need to work on that. They said they would consider that. As I've reported before, County Road 725 that comes south from the BP is going to be paved. Milestone Contractors is going to do that work, and since it's a contractor, one lane will remain open during that work. So that's all I have.
Do they know when that's gonna be done?
No, they said, well, shoot, I thought it was going to be by then, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be toward the end of the summer.
Okay.
Because they just got them under contract at the last commissioners meeting, so that would be my guess, but I'll keep pushing to get scheduled.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you,
You bet.
thank you. Lake Committee, Rick, do you have something?
Just a couple quick things. The bass tournament fishermen just did the kids fishing contest this past weekend. I don't have official results, although they did post something on Facebook. But the last I heard from them, they had like 30 kids signed up to be in that tournament. And they were a little concerned that they would have more kids than and would have to turn some away. So I think it went well. Most newsworthy, the Lake Committee is of course working on the annual Feast, Ski and Fun event It's the single fundraiser we have every year, biggest event for us. It's going to be a big one this year. Lots of new activities for just about every age group, including there will be 2 bands at the beach starting at about 5 o'clock. So, and we can thank Who's Your Home Furnishing for sponsoring those bands for us. But watch your Facebook news groups, because you'll soon see postings about our silent auction. We'll need people to donate items for that auction, and of course people to participate and bid on those items. We're also looking for some sponsors for some of our events. So if you are or know someone, please send them to the Lake Committee, Mary Petruzzi or me or the Muhlenbeins, any one of us. So anyway, that's well underway, and we look forward to it.
Thanks, Rich. Clean water, no one's here, no report. Long-term planning,
No report.
no report. Facilitation, Dwayne, do you have anything to report?
Just the fact that as things stand right now, we will not have a June meeting.
Okay.
We've done everything for this year that we had the money to do, so there's no sense of us meeting and
Okay.
looking at each other. So,
You guys don't like each other that much, huh?
no.
Okay, as any of you don't know, Jim and Debbie Muhlenbein have retired from the election committee, and Mary Petruzzi has volunteered to take over that committee. And obviously, there's not going to be any report tonight, but I just thought I'd throw that out. Mary Petruzzi is a busy lady, but she took on that election committee also. This is her way of avoiding to get on the board. Let's see. Manager's report. Ken Roselle, those of you who didn't hear me earlier, is not here tonight. So I will read his reports. Last month, I reported that there were 234 lots remaining that had not paid their 2024 assessments. Over the past month, there was some nice efforts made to lower this number out of the office. As of today, there are still 124 lots that have not paid their assessments. So within a month, they've taken care of 110 of those tardiness assessments. As of today, there are still 124 lots that have not paid their assessments. These 124 lots total $37,448 shortfalls to our budget. As a reminder, any unpaid lots will be turned over to collections in August 1st. At that time, by law, we cannot accept your payment after August 1st. So if you have not paid your assessments by August 1st, you cannot pay us your assessments unless you go through the court system and our lawyers. At that time, by law, we will not be able to take your payment by law. Please get these paid and avoid the attorney fees. Now, I must emphasize to those of you who have forgotten, if you have a neighbor that might have mentioned to you that they've forgotten, they got to get over here. It's embarrassing for all of us when you have to pay our attorney fees, but you're going to have to. It's in the rules. Marina news. As of today, we've sold 960 boat stickers. With the sticker fee going down this year, as was promised, compared to last year, we are trending just slightly behind the previous year. Pool news. All your future pool passes can be purchased at the pool. We are off to a good start. Passes that have been sold are 170 adults, 95 youths, 40 10-day passes. Thank you for those of you who have purchased those. It takes thousands of dollars for labor, chemicals, and propane to heat the water to operate this amenity. Pickleball lovers, good news. We have given up on the hope that the company that strung us out along to install 2 new permanent pickleball nets, we will not be waiting on them any longer. Ken has hired a local company in Jefferson Valley. The name of the company is Integra Dig. has been given this project for $4,013. Previously, we were willing to spend $5,000 on the company that paved the courts, but I guess he just can't get back to us. Their plan is to have this completed in one day. Communication will be made when they plan to begin. A restriction to the court for that one day may be possible. Psalms Haven financials. For May, we collected $11,121. Year-to-date totals collected are $28,362. And that is $1,064 over last year's totals. Thank you, Ken Roselle. Okay. Moving on to old business. A&E modification. Dennis Barrow.
Okay, the A&E committee has made a recommendation on a wording modification on rules 433.8, 407.15, and 424.11, which I'm going to read the current wording and the proposed wording. Just for everyone's edification, for any of these rules to change, it has to be voted on twice by the board. We voted on it last month, so this will be the second and the official vote that will put it in place. The current wording for those rules are as follows. Construction of approved docks, boat lifts, and/or boat houses can only begin once the lot has been staked by a licensed surveyor with 4 stakes. The new proposed wording says, applications for the construction of docks, boat lifts, and/or boat houses must include a new plot plan drawn by a licensed surveyor which shows the exact placement of the structure within the property lines projected into the water with the structure dimensions clearly marked. The property lines must be staked by the surveyor with a minimum of 2 stakes on each lot sideline. At least 1 stake on each side must be visible from the water. So it's been expanded a bit, but it will avoid a lot of confusion in the future.
I'll take a motion.
Motion to accept is read. I second.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Second vote approved. Okay, new business. Covenant Court complaint announcement. Okay, that's supposed to be me, huh? What is that? Covenant Court complaint announcement. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I know exactly what that is. Okay. I don't know if anybody's read if you haven't read our website, the court complaint is scheduled for October, is it? 23rd, 9 o'clock. Okay. The court complaint that has been filed with Putnam County is going to be heard in Putnam County by a Vigo County judge. And it will be heard on October 23rd at 9 o'clock in the morning at Putnam County Courthouse. So that's my announcement. Well, I can't believe I forgot all about that, huh? If you have any questions about that, you can either call the courthouse, call the office. All I know about it is anyone's free to show up. It's up to the judge who talks, who doesn't talk. I have no idea. I've never been through this before. Okay, the flock camera installation. I don't know how many people remember or know about the flock cameras that we voted on, but we voted to subsidize some cameras for the sheriff's department. And those cameras are being put on 2 sides of Heritage Lake to assist the Putnam County Sheriff's Department in giving them leads on any cars that need to be addressed for any kind of allegations against those plate descriptions. And we decided to invest in that because it helps us in this community, because the sheriff's department can intervene in different ways to keep our community a little bit safer. We've had one up at, by the BP now for, I think it's been, what,
About
6 weeks or something like that?
Oh, is that one?
Maybe, I don't know, month, something like that. We just got one put on the south side of Heritage Lake, near, I think it's near exit 66. And that one takes pictures of cars coming into Heritage Lake. So that camera is up now. We're very pleased with that. We were wondering when we were going to have that attached, but that's up, and it's a nice to see that our investment is being entertained anyway. So hopefully that's a good deal. I think it was explained 2 board meetings ago by one of the sheriff's people that was helping with that flock system, and basically as those cameras take pictures of plates, it has nothing to do with your plates or anybody else's plates. It has to do with a plate that is in their database. If that plate comes up in their database, which they're already looking for it, they will get that. So it's a nice system. Last, under new business, is the addition to the agenda. It has been, we've had there is no rule at this point. When you buy a lot, you can clear your lot, and you don't even really have to have it, according to our rules, you don't have to have it surveyed. So logically speaking, I'm going to try and paint you a picture of why we think this is not a good idea. If there are 3 lots, and you bought the center lot, and you just go in there with your equipment and start tearing down trees left and right, and you don't know if you're going maybe a little bit over this way or a little bit over that way, you might destroy a tree that somebody else owns. So this has never come up before, as long as I've been here. And it came up this week. And those of you who are on Facebook, you've probably read about it. I personally went out to that lot, and it's not a big deal. And once the builder realized that he might have gone over the back part of the lot and took down a small tree, and he is willing to replace that tree, he stopped at the back part of the lot. So he stopped. Now, before he stopped, as they say, the debris hit the fan, and everybody was all crazy about it. I mean, there were neighbors 10 houses down that couldn't understand what was going on, and 10 houses the other way couldn't understand what was going on, which is normal. But anyway, the builder got a wrath from somebody close by, and it was a wrath, and he's had several conversations with people that are invested in committees and management and so on and so forth. And we've got it all cleared up. But in the meantime, he's taught us a lesson. So there will be some verbiage suggested to the A&E committee. We're going to follow the same rules as we follow normally. And we have some verbiage that is going to correct that situation. And the A&E committee is going to receive that verbiage the next meeting, which is next Thursday.
They
And
just had one Thursday, so it'll be, I think, 2 weeks.
oh, okay, 2 weeks. So they will receive that verbiage, and hopefully, I'm sure, relatively soon, the board will vote on the new bylaw for the A&E committee to, if you buy a lot and you want to do anything on that lot, you have to get it surveyed prior to doing anything. Whether you're going to put a driveway in, whether you're going to take trees down, no matter what you do, you're going to have it surveyed first. Makes sense to me. And between now and that becomes a bylaw or an A&E rule, if anybody has a good reason why it doesn't make sense, then we'll listen. So So that's what I have to report. No vote needed. Move on. All right, here we are to our favorite time of the meeting, open forum. Those of you who are here for open forum, please stand, state your name and your lot number, and tell us what's on your mind.
Chris Schubert from 266 Mill Springs. I go to Canaan Community Church, and we're going to have a family fun night, a couple of them throughout the summer. The first one starts on Friday at 6:30. We'll have hot dogs, hamburgers, iced beverages like that. Just come and enjoy each other and bring your kids and your family and stuff.
What's the
At Canaan. At Canaan.
Canaan Church?
Yep, and there's flyers over on the table.
Chris, what's that date again?
That's this Friday, is the first one, the 14th. So,
What time?
6:30.
6:30.
6:30 to 9:30. Yep.
You mentioned hot dogs, huh?
Okay. Had you hot dogs, huh? Okay.
Yeah, hi, I'm Brian Temple, 404 Mill Springs. You mentioned surveying the land. My son and daughter-in-law bought the land next to me.
Uh-huh.
They are not gonna build a house on it. They live in Brownsburg, and they bought it strictly for lake access. It was surveyed today, because they're gonna close on it. You answered one of my questions. They wanted, in the distant future, they have a boat, and they wanted to put a little driveway in to keep their boat there. Now, do they have to apply for a, to set that there full-time, or what?
No, if you've, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong on this, I've been off the A&E committee for a while, so my brain might be rusty. But if you've had it surveyed and you know where, and your driveway is gonna be on your lot, you can put a driveway in and park your,
Well,
without going to the
the man was
A&E.
out there today surveying it, and they still got the for sale sign on it because it hasn't been closed on, but their offer's been accepted. And,
As long as they stay within those survey lines, they can put a driveway in.
they don't need to,
No,
so they can do anything they want then with it.
well, they can put a driveway in. I just
Okay,
yeah.
and also I have another issue. My wife is totally handicapped. She uses an electric scooter to get around. I'm sure I've seen some other wheelchair people here, she doesn't walk very good without a walker. Are they going to be putting in more handicap accessible, I noticed the walkway around where the restaurant is, you can walk around where the boats are at. Are there gonna be any more handicap accessible areas, like to fish at and that? We don't own a boat, we own a golf cart. We flipped a coin, it was either a boat or a golf cart. So, I don't know if there's gonna be any more areas where people could take wheelchairs and that.
The only suggestion I would make to you is if you know of an area that you'd like to see become handicapped, present it to Ken Roselle in the office, and, we can look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that, we've not had anybody come up with a requisition of an area that needs to be handicapped, but if you find an area that you would love to visit, and we find it feasible to make that handicap accessible, I'm sure there would be no problem.
Okay, and one other thing, I had somebody ask me if you were allowed to live in a trailer out here. And I saw on Facebook where you can have them in your driveway, but you can't live in them.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, I think unless there's fire damage to your house or something, you can't live in it on a permanent basis.
That's correct.
That's what I told him. I didn't know to be wrong on that.
Actually,
You were not wrong.
actually, you can't live in it on a temporary basis.
Well, no, I didn't know,
trailers are not to, or RVs are not to be used on your property.
Yeah, yeah.
They can be parked on your property. They're not to
But not
be
be
used
used,
on your
yeah.
property. Okay, anybody else? Jan?
Yeah, Jan Solis, 65 Gettysburg. I forgot one thing in the report for the boat poker run. We are currently starting to look for dock hosts. So if anyone's interested in doing that, it's going to come out on Facebook. There'll be some information coming out soon and on the Heritage Lake website, hopefully through Rick. But anyway, so we are looking for them, and it's a lot of fun, so we're encouraging people. Last year we had 444 some odd people participating, and we're hoping for that number again. But we need places for them to go where they can play cards, so.
Thanks,
We need
Jan.
tacos.
Thanks, Jan. Yes, sir?
Yeah, I just want to follow up with Jan's request earlier in the meeting. We didn't have an idle speed during the boat poker run. We had a no tubing, no skiing, no
That's right.
attachment.
That's right.
If we had an idle speed, that would mean everybody would, even the poker boats would have to go idle.
Yeah, you're right. That was
So,
cool.
so just to
Cool.
clarify that,
Yes.
but thank you for bringing that up, but it wasn't an idle speed. So
Okay, you're right.
boats could go full speed, they just couldn't tow anything
Which would create more.
outside of an emergency. So,
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Thank you, good point.
Yeah. That's it.
Tom?
Tom Novak, 25 Mill Springs. I just want to give the board and the community a report on our blood drive that we had here at Heritage Lake on 6/4/24. The results of that blood drive, if you want to take notes for the minutes, the date was 6/4/2024. The units that we connected, in other words, the bags of blood that we collected was 45. Number of first-time donors, people who came out for the first time to give, we had 5 people, which is great. Total number of appointments we had was 46, and that translates into a potential number of saved lives of 135 individuals. I'd just like to give those people who showed up and donated a hand. We will be having another blood drive in the wintertime, so save your blood. We'll be more than happy to collect it then. And on a different subject, if I may address a different subject, a question, not a question, but a request of the government committee. When you attend another meeting, if you could ask the Putnam County Commissioners if they'd be able to cut down the weeds where intersection 525 meets 725. They did it last year late. This year they're growing back. The visibility, if you're making a right turn, left turn, or if you're turning into 525, is limited by the height of the vegetation that's now grown. So if you could address that with them and report and see what they say.
I'll certainly do that, but I suggest when you have an issue like that, that you also call the highway department.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll see.
Thank you. I'll just follow up on that request to let you know that there have been there have been several meetings with the highway department, the new engineer for the highway department, and we have told them at every one of those meetings that we are not taking their complaints, and they understand they will take your complaints. If it has to do with a county road, it's the sheriff's department and the highway department. Those are the two places. Ken is no longer on the sheriff's department, so he doesn't get any calls about the sheriff's department. He just gets calls about the community. And if it has to do with county roads or county property, it has to do with the county at this point. Okay? Yes, sir?
Albert, Field 9, Gansbury. I had a couple of questions about the board's attempt to have the covenants changed by the judge. Now, is that the complaint you said was October, or is that a different complaint?
That's the same complaint?
Okay, so
The
that's
only
the date-
complaint?
That's the date set.
Uh-huh.
Now, if there's any of you that would agree with me that the board's out of line, I have some documents that I'd be glad to give you to show you why.
Anybody else? Okay, I'll take a motion.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? The executive meeting, I'm gonna postpone until the next meeting because of the tardiness, or the
The absence.
absenteeism of some of the board members. There are a couple issues I'd like to discuss at an executive meeting. Thank you all for coming, and
Thank you, and good
if there's any informal suggestions or discussions, I'll be here for about 10 minutes.